Yo, welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another one of these match analysis slash reaction videos with me, Mirko. Today we're going to be doing it alone again, and we have a very interesting match, right? Blacklist International versus ONIC PH. The first time they met, obviously Blacklist lost 2-0 to a backdoor from Nets and to Rapidude, who just popped off, you know, and on the Atlas, getting crazy fatal links. But Blacklist never lose to the same team twice. I unfortunately have seen the results. It's 2-0. Blacklist won against ONIC PH, but I don't know what happens, right? I've kept myself from looking at any of the crazy clips that happens in this game. So without further ado, let's just jump into the game. Let's take a look at the drafts first, though. So boom, bang, bada bing. We're here already. We got the Lapu. All right. So this is interesting, right? We haven't seen the Lapu in quite a while, and here we are going to finally see the Lapu again. This also happened in MPL in what the f... Holy wait, what? No way. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Lapu, but yeah, the casters were also like getting really hyped for a Lapu, and then ONIC PH just decides to pick up a Minotaur. Wow. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Lapu first. Week 7, day 1. I don't know if this is a coincidence. I guess it is a coincidence, right? More of the new patch, technically, right? Because of the new patch, maybe we are going to see a little bit more of these unique heroes come out. In Indo, we also saw the Lapu. We also saw Minsathar. So here in PH, it's Lapu and Minotaur, not Minsathar, which is interesting. But it does feel like this is just the classic, very classic ultimate bonding experience, though. Like the drafts, right? For ONIC PH, it's more of a little bit more mixed with pick, kite back, and a good team fight as well. Winning lanes, though. I don't know about the winning lanes, actually. The Dairoth Lapu matchup, I think it might be a skill matchup, but Dairoth has a little bit more of an advantage. But yeah, in the gold lane, it's definitely going to be the Aerithal. This is Blacklist going back to, you know, their Ube, I guess, right? I mean, it's literally just the Ube that we've seen many times before. But with new picks, I guess, now. Oheb's on the 1-1 now. He's not on the Beatrix or the Clint. Usually he is more of... he likes these, you know, safe heroes a little bit more, usually. Let me just change the quality of the video so you guys can actually see it in 1080p. But, alright, let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to point this out real quick, right in the start of the game, right? Hopefully nothing crazy happens. It's just mid-control, normal pathing. But, all right, never mind. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about the drafts, but I have a feeling this game might be a bit fast-paced. So we'll just keep an eye out first, and we'll like pause later, and then I'll make my point there. But yeah, I guess this is what you guys can kind of expect for Estes Fermis in the mid lane. Yeah, they clear even faster than Cho and Valentina, which is interesting. I thought that Valentina Cho is one of those combinations in mid lane who can just like clear really fast. It seems like for both of the junglers, they went for the same path. They went to the gold lane, you know. For you guys who don't know what pathing is, it's the route that the junglers take to move on. By the way, that's a fun new thing right there. We have a marker now, so we can kind of see what's going on. I can tell you guys exactly what I'm thinking, and I can show you guys visually. This is always something that Blacklist likes to do. I think this is a lot of teams like to do this, but I think Blacklist does this the most often. You guys, take a look at the minimap right now, right? Wise always paths from the bottom side towards the gold lane. So he doesn't really care. Usually, he doesn't really care if he gets the purple buff or orange buff first, right? If he is on the red side, then obviously he starts on the purple buff, and then he goes up. His pathing is always towards that gold lane, and he always tries to help clear if Oheb is on a weak side gold laner, right? If it's a weak side gold laner, if you need help, they kind of do that. But I've seen this many times as well, that like Blacklist just likes to do this, utilizing the jungle retribution thingy-majiggy now, that when you below 5 minutes, you don't actually get XP or gold from the lane, very similar to a roamer. So he just goes in and he clears it out, helping 1-1. Yeah, which is right now technically in a losing lane, right, up against the Irithel. So it just helps 1-1 relieve some of that pressure that the Irithel has on her early on, which is great. And so Oheb can actually help her out, and this helps them with the Ube, because Oheb can actually, you know, look to help if Blacklist go and get into a fight topside. I like this Bionic PH though. They notice that, they know it, and they're like, you know what? Instead of going top as well, we might as well go bottom side. We might as well like prep for Turtle. And Super Friends, he's doing the same thing towards the towards the XP, right? And they had a numbers advantage for a bit, so they will actually have a little bit more control here in the Turtle side. Both mid and bot cleared out. Oh, they go for a fight here. Oh my god, massive Minotaur ult. So yeah, I guess the idea from ONIC PH is that, you know what, if they go pop the Cult Altar, we have another team fight tool that can actually just stop them from dealing damage, right? Technically, with your ultimate on the Minotaur, you kind of stop everyone from hitting, right? If they are on the range, they are CC'd. Very good zoning by Rapidude. Very good zoning by Rapidude. See, that's why Cho is just really solid right now. He flickers out. Good entrance. Good entrance, man. That was just good execution, honestly. Both teams had proper setup. Both of them had equal setup, in my opinion, right? But ONIC Rapidude just made a really good play there to secure the turtle. And yeah, this is what you can expect, ladies and gentlemen, in a 1-1 Irithel lane. You're not really gonna do much as a 1-1 if you don't really get ganked that much. If you don't have a lot of kill pressure. The SS pick is solid here because it helps the 1-1 a lot with sustainability. That's the only thing you can kind of do though. Like Irithel's, I don't know, early on. Oh wait, yeah, I wanted to say that Irithel early on is very hard to catch if she brings a sprint, but here. That's actually opted to go for a flicker instead of sprint, yeah? I guess because of the nerfs to the patch, I mean to sprint in this patch, they've decided to go for flicker instead. Because I don't see any sprints here on both teams. Yeah, I mean, wow, wow, that's actually a good. I don't know who actually wins out on this one. That was a really good like catch, but a really very good disengage by ONIC PH. Man, the pullback is beautiful by ONIC PH here, man. They initially engaged, and the fact that no one died in that skirmish is kind of crazy. This is the thing though, if you kind of force those plays to happen like in the mid lane, or if you pull your XP laner or just your side laners in general from their lanes to help in the mid lane, that's why the most efficient play is to let your XP lane clear first, right? And in that moment, Dare actually, I think, lost a few minions to the turret there because Edward was able to shove before he jumped over. But it's all, again, going to come down to the turtle fight. And, wow, wait, Oheb actually rotated all the way from top side, which is interesting. Wait, I want to see how he did this. Yeah, alright, so because Estes went over the top side earlier, he helped with the sustain, and 1-1 had more HP than Nets, so 1-1 was able to just clear the waves without really getting poked down. There's no kill pressure for the Irithel, and because of that, I think ONIC PH knew that Oheb was coming down. Instead of just going for a fight, instead of contesting, they were in position to contest, but they're like, you know what, let's chill, let's wait, right? I don't think it's worth it to go for a turtle if we lose in the battle. We'll just let Nets do his thing. It's a good trade, honestly, for Nets. As a gold laner, I would take this trade. Going for turret, dishing out that much damage onto the turret, I think it's worth it to hand over the turtle for that one, right? You lose a little bit of gold and XP, but that's a lot of damage to the turret. That's more map pressure for ONIC PH to play with now in that top side, and maybe they can actually look for swaps, right, to control the map even further. Ooh. Just use the no hesitation there for Super Friends. He just popped the Cult Altar to get out. And again, you know, this is very this is what games are supposed to look like, you know, technically, because without neutral objectives, teams shouldn't really fight that much. And that's what they're doing right now. They got the turret up top. They're trying to get as much as they can, but they're still just playing it very safe, right? They don't want to go for stupid engages, unnecessary fights. Let's just wait for the next neutral objective because that's where we actually have a reason. That's when we actually have a reason to look for a fight, right? Unless you can go for picks, obviously. If Blacklist step over a bit too much in the mid lane into the enemy jungle, then ONIC PH can, punish, and Blacklist can punish the same if ONIC PH does that. But both teams are just farming. They're chill. And that's a pretty solid gold lead, I would say. It's not that big, but it's where you want to be as an Irithel. You want to be ahead of the 1-1 so that you can... Again, all you need to do on the Irithel is actually just go equal with the 1-1 in lane. And, well, obviously, optimally, what you want to do is bully the 1-1, get some kills, and shut her down from the get-go. But if you can't even do that... If you wait to the late game, you're still just such a very good hero up against a 1-1. Because you can get away from the weakness points very easily. You can move while attacking. And 1-1 needs to attack to move. Oh, that's a very good split by Edward there. That was so good by Edward. Yeah, it should be Blacklist. Oh... it should be Blacklist who gets it, but it's so good by ONIC PH2. All right, let's replay this stuff. Let's replay it. All right, man. This is beautiful, and this is why we have the analyst marker thingamajig. Okay. Notice how again, in terms of setup, both teams are equal because they've cleared out both mid and take a look at the map for now, guys. Take a look. All right, mid and top both shoved in by both of the teams, so equal map pressure there, right? Even though top side turret has been taken down. Here, it's fine. It's completely fine because minions have been cleared out. So the map pressure here is equal. Basically, we have a line over here, and as you can see, the positioning is kind of like that, right? But what they do that's super smart is they notice that Nets maybe is a little bit off position here in the bush. He should be behind playing front to back with his team, but he's over here, right? Maybe he got split because of the earlier skirmish. They noticed this. Edward paid attention to this, which is really, really good. Nets. Maybe going here would have been the wiser decision, obviously, but again, those are the split-second decisions that these pro players need to make, right? And because of that, Nets had to flicker. They don't really have the resources to go for a crazy fight anymore. And what's crazy here is the fact that was a good play by Edward to force ONIC PH back. Onyx say, you know what? We already have the top side, right? Bottom side. The XP lane is pushing in. We can trade the turtle for that XP lane, so we don't really need to go for a crazy contest here. Blacklist have a 5-man team. They have a 1-man advantage over us. We can look for a steal with Sensui's 1-level lead, and that's it. If we don't get the steal, it's fine. We still come up equal. If we get the steal, then we just get massive profit. And Blacklist definitely didn't pull the trigger here, right? No one went onto Sensui to zone him away. 1-level difference means that Sensui will have a bit more to play with in terms of that retry damage. And it's just very smart decision making from ONIC PH. Very smart. Nothing too special there, but again, it's just smart, right? Like, you don't need to make flashy plays every single time. Sometimes the easiest answer is the best answer. And that's one of those cases where it proves to be the best answer, right? They got the turret down below. They trade. They have a 1,000 gold lead now just by playing it safe. And whoa, okay. I don't like that engage onto Wise. Oh, really? Yeah, they're going to lose this. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you go up against Blacklist International, I think don't go for Wise is the right move. And plus there, they didn't have Nets, right? Nets wasn't here. Nets was all the way top side. Yeah. They try to go for a cheeky pick. Obviously, there was a Cult Altar, and obviously Wise is super tanky. Yeah, they weren't really going to be able to... I think even if they had Nets, I don't think they would have been able to, like, burst Wise down. Maybe take him to half HP, but... I don't think you look for team fights here, honestly, if you're ONIC PH. Until you get that power spike, right? If you're ONIC PH, you kind of want to stop... You want to... Yeah, you just don't want to go for team fights, honestly, at this point, right? Just let Nets scale, get to a certain point where Nets can actually shred through everything, and then you want to look for those team fights. You can go for picks now, which they were trying to do basically with that play, but I don't think Wise is the right target to actually go for a pick. And this is, again, classic Blacklist, right? They're able to equalize just with the Ube. And that's what's interesting about the Ube. A lot of people are like, yo, they group up too much. They leave their side lanes very vulnerable for the enemy team to take. But that's exactly what Blacklist do. Like, yes, they want the side lanes to be vulnerable. As you can see, ONIC PH took the first 2 turrets in the side lanes, but it doesn't really matter because Blacklist can just do that once they're grouped up, right? Even here, this is really interesting. We've seen this before, exploited by ONIC PH. Blacklist International, Edward, doesn't go for the clear. He's actually here in the... He's around the Lord Pit. He has to go back up top now that the mini waves have crashed into the turret and they lose that turret, right? So that's something that still can be exploited. That's something that Blacklist still, you know... Blacklist still make the mistake that they still make. They can be exploited. We saw that from ONIC PH in the first game of the first match, right? When Nets backdoored them. That was exactly the same. Edward was in the Lord. They kept on baiting, and they got it. Here, though... Alright. Oh! You see, if you have Nets, and if you have like a 4v4, it's very good. That was a good decision to go in there by ONIC PH. So you just play the map. You don't really want to go for those crazy team fights when you don't have the same amount of members. With Nets, though, right now, he's already skilled like a monster. It's boom, bang, bada, bing. My question is, how does Blacklist come back from this right here? It's a Lord take. It's a 3,000 gold lead. You lost your tier 2. You lost a team fight 4-for-0 trade. How did they come back from this? Because I know Blacklist wins 2-0. This has to be like a crazy comeback. It's... Because honestly, looking at ONIC PH's composition right now, Blacklist shouldn't really be able to come back. They can go for those crazy plays, but it's always just front to backs. You know, Blacklist's team right now, I wouldn't say it's very dynamic in terms of side lane control. Yeah, in terms of side lane control, I think ONIC PH has it in the bag. In terms of team fights, Blacklist can do it, but like, if ONIC PH just keeps on going for team fights, I don't think that's... How do they come back? That's my big question, right? Because I want to be amazed here in game 1. A lot of people have been telling me to analyze this game, and I think that's the reason. Because as you can see, side lane control, just you can't really... ONIC PH has winning lanes. Nets is a monster here, and 1-1, like we mentioned, can't really deal with the Irithel that well. This is very interesting to see. And they get massive value too, right? They're already getting every single tier 2. They're moving into the mid lane. Blacklist International, very good micromanagement though. I'll have to give them that, right? They lost the Lord and they instantly went back. And they didn't go for anything too crazy. They just cleared out the waves. But how they're micromanaging it is very good. They're minimalizing the losses really well, right? So there's just this concept, and I guess I'll tell you guys as well. I used to kind of be like somewhat of a coach, right, for an academy here in Indonesia, esports academy. But the concept is when you're behind, what you want to do is not look for the win, technically. You know, what you want to do is first minimize your losses first, right? You minimize your losses and you look for an opening. You don't go for an instant desperate play, 5v5 to win the game, because that's very coin flip and doesn't really work in every single game, especially not in high level competition matches like this. So that's what Blacklist are doing, and they're doing it really well, right? Every single time they're getting chunked, you can see it's very impressive. Nets just dealing out so much damage onto Blacklist, but Blacklist know when to back off. They know their sustain, and they know how much they can take, right? With their healing and with their heroes having the defensive items that they do. So yeah, that's one thing that Blacklist has always been able to do very well. And I think that goes for Filipino teams in general, right? Like, they have the fundamentals down to a T. Oh, I don't know about this. That's a flicker burnt out. Oh no, the team. Oh no, it's done. Mid lane should be dead right now. Wow, how the heck did they disengage from that? Wow. Wait, all right. Okay, this is crazy, because in any other situation, or maybe any other team, I think Blacklist should have just lost 3 members here, right? They made this is a very crazy call to make 2 members down below and Lord spawning in. You have 3 members technically. Okay, I guess you're very tanky, you're very sustainable with the Feramis and Estes. But what the heck? How do they survive this?
They want to go for it. They have a pretty good hold on this team fight right now, but it's very
Dude, honestly, I just want to give props to the positioning again, right? Like of the players here on Blacklist. Even when they were caught, they had perfect positioning. Like, take a look at this. The spacing of both Venus and Haji. This is something that's not appreciated, right? Everyone is saying that, oh yeah, Blacklist are macro gods. The PH are better than macro. But in terms of micro, they're not really good. I don't know. It's definitely not it. Like, in terms of micro, this is called micro as well. The, how you space in team fights, how you position. This is also a part of mechanics, right? So even when they're caught like this, they have very good positioning. And Wise, once he walks back, he realizes, right, that, oh, Venus is compromised here. I need to walk back. Walks back instantly, zoning these members away, and Nets can't really go for the hit onto Venus because of that. If Wise actually backed off a little bit further, Venus would be dead 100%, right? So you can see the crisp, clean decision making that they're doing, even in these clutch moments, and it saved them. It's those little things again, right? We've mentioned this many times, but those little things add up, and Blacklist are so good at doing that. They've basically forced a trade, a 1-0 trade for nothing. Right? They burnt out 3 ultimates in a 3v4. Didn't work out. And now Blacklist, technically, they're like, you know what? We can actually go for this, right? But you see, I don't know. In terms of just 5v5 at this point, with ONIC OG having a massive gold lead, can they win this? Oh, Nets, no! Oh, wait, what? Yes, Nets? No, Nets? No, I think it's still a no. That's the main damage dealer. If Nets isn't here, it's a good punish by Blacklist. A little blunder by Nets there. Let's play that again. What happened there, right? Okay, so... Oh, okay, a little blunder by Nets. He wanted to deal out damage onto Oheb, and he ended up losing his life. It's a good... Is it a good... No, it's not a good trade. He gets Haji, but, you know, it's Nets. That's the main damage dealer. Now Oheb's gonna have a fun time in the fights, and yeah, ONIC OG realized that. They're like, oh, we can't really fight without Nets, and they back off. They don't. But it's also really good decision making, right? Like, I think after losing a member 1-for-1, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot as well. It's a Feramis that they killed to trade it in for Nets, so he can just spawn back in with his passive. So it's definitely not worth it. Oh my god. Never mind. It's just, no, not a good trade at all. It's still an okay trade because, like, he was caught. He already made a mistake, right? So the fact that he was able to get a kill after making a mistake is very good. But definitely not worth it for ONIC. They lost their entire goal lead with that. And you see, this is what I was talking about early on. Blacklist and teams who are behind in general, minimize losses before you look for those openings. Once you find those openings, there you go, right? You can just instantly go for it. Just use your fundamentals. Use the fundamentals to actually get the lead or to stay alive, and you will find those holes. The enemies are humans. They will be, maybe they might make a mistake. It's also gonna come down to you, right? Because if you are able to force those mistakes to happen, like here, Blacklist. And look at how efficient they are. This is something you guys need to note down, the wave manipulation here. Bottom side was pushing in. They don't go for an instant 3-wave push, because they know that they're still tier 2s, right? Instead of going for a 3-wave push, let's push into mid lane first. Bottom side is going to be slow pushing with the Lord. Top side, I think, is building up for a slow push as well. I think, I don't know if Dare actually breaks it, but they use the mid lane to zone the others, Haji to zone with the Shadow Stampede. Once they get that, then they move on to the bottom side. And because it's slow pushing, it will come together. You can see, bottom and mid comes together because they timed it really well. The slow push, right? Bottom side is slow pushing, mid lane was shoved in, so they use the second wave of the mid lane to come in. And this creates just a hassle for ONIC OG to deal with, because it's 3 turrets getting hit at the same time. Again, you can look at the minimap, or you can look here. 3 turrets, 1 up top that I can't really see. We can't really see in the camera. There's a mosquito. And ONIC PH with their draft, if they look for team fights, they can only go for like full engages, right? Like main damage dealer net. So because of that, they can't really commit into any one of these. They're just gonna have to clear the waves, and Blacklist can just move over. Bottom side taken down, move over to mid. Nets will definitely be on the Lord, and they can dish out a little bit more damage. And look at the timing of that, right? You can chain it again. Mid lane was cleared up. So they chain from bottom side. They get the Lord. My bad. They get the base with the Lord. Lord coming in. ONIC PH will have to deal with that to save their base. Blacklist move to mid. ONIC PH clear it, and then they move to top. All timing, all the minion wave timing is crazy, actually. Really solid by Blacklist. And they get 2 base turrets out of the second enhanced, well, first enhanced Lord. And then they can use this wave again for the mid lane. I don't think this is going to work though. ONIC PH now, in terms of like just if they have, like I said, right, if they only have one answer to deal or one question to deal with, which is that mid lane, they will be able to answer it. But when 3 waves are being pushed in like that, ONIC PH, they definitely struggle with their composition. And Blacklist should actually struggle with that as well, dealing with 3 waves. But again, they were able to do it with the first Lord. Maybe it's because of the Lord difference, first Lord and enhanced Lord. Let's take a look at the items. Again, fun fact, right? If you guys don't know, I've been saying this every single video, but if you guys are playing in ranked, buy steel leg plates if you're behind. This is an item that you need. Fight Chicken told me this. Fun fact. When we were playing ranked and we lost and I was 0-5 on 1-1, he told me to get steel leg plates. At the time, I technically knew about steel leg plates. It's just my stupid little memo in my head that's like, you know, I don't want to build defensive. Building defensive is a pussy move for ranked. But if you aren't playing in high rank, please do. You know, if you actually want to climb, please do. It's a good habit to get into. And because Fight Chicken told me that, I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'll just do the no defense thing on stream. Why am I doing that off stream? Yeah, steel leg plates, insane value, dude. You get so much. I think you get as much physical defense as you do if you go brute force breastplate. So full item, brute force breastplate. You get the same amount of physical defense on an item that costs you 500, and you can just use it up until the late game. Now he sells it, perfect timing, and you can obviously change it to something else once you need that slot. But if you need that physical defense, go for steel leg plates. It's the best value defensive item in the game. For physical, yeah. And the rest, in terms of itemization, I think it's pretty like normal, right? There's nothing really crazy here. Yeah, I don't see anything crazy. Yeah, it's just... Now let's see what's going on. The death bush down below.
That's how you take over the Lord, because for Blacklist International, they have to walk back towards the middle lane and top lane to deal with the
again, you know, and these... Ooh. I love this. I love this. You know, usually... Alright, just take a look at the map again. I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, but this is something that I'm just noticing. In any other scenario, this would be the worst play to make. Well, I don't know if it's the worst play to make, but it's going to be a quote-unquote bad play, right? Because when the Lord spawns here, this is the main objective right now. But Blacklist International, knowing that, again, they have pressure when it comes down to this this lane. Top side isn't really pushed. All right, let's group up here. We use this pressure to actually keep on going, right? And if ONIC PH decide to go for Lord, we can actually end. So what they're doing right now is they're technically threatening the end. There are no base turret, so if they just go straight in, they will be able to end, right? So ONIC PH will have to respond to that, and they won't really be able to go for the Lord here. They go for the Lord, they notice that everyone's missing, and Edward's pushing in, so they're just hovering over it at this point, right? They're like, oh, they can still threaten the push down below, and that's exactly what they do. They threaten the push down below. Oh my god, they win because of... Guys, I'm sorry for that cut. Very unfortunate things happen, alright? So I analyzed the entire game already with that clip. So the last clip that you saw, up until that very moment, I finished the whole game. And then I went back to... I was doing my outro, and I realized that, wait, why isn't it recording? Apparently I ran out of disk space, so I technically just analyzed the whole thing. And yeah, it just didn't record. It only recorded up until the 18th minute. 12 seconds. So right now we're gonna end it, right? So I've already seen this. Oh man, you guys, you couldn't get the... man, it's so frustrating that you guys won't see the actual like first reaction, first but I was like really impressed on what they were able to do here, right? Never watched this clip, never seen this, so it was really impressive. But whatever I said earlier was already kind of correct, right? They're forcing that end, using barats on the Lord to actually just go for it, and it's super smart. It's that multi-level thinking, multi-level dynamic coming in from BLACKLIST International here, where with the Ube, with Faramis and Estes, they don't really need Wise, and obviously with barats, you can just take the Lord solo. I think you can even take Evolve Lord solo. And that's exactly what they do here, right? So I'm pretty frustrated that you guys won't see my initial reaction, the first reaction to that play, because I was mind blown and I was just, my hands were on my head the whole time. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating that I don't have enough disk space just now. But there, yeah, I know that they don't end here though, but that was just really good by them. Like very, very solid maneuvers across just bottom towards that top side. And here in terms of these team fights as well, they don't really have, for BLACKLIST International, what they lack is damage output, but they actually have a lot of sustainability, right? So what they lack in damage output, they actually are able to dish out or have sustainability, which is pretty solid again, right? If you're just going for these long, prolonged team fights, sustainability will win out in the end. ONIC PH won't be able to deal out that much damage always, right? There's a cooldown on the Abyssum Strike, there's a cooldown on a lot of these crazy abilities that they need to use to win these team fights. And BLACKLIST International are utilizing it very, very well. This is a very good decision though by ONIC PH. They notice that Wise is down, so they just go for they go for something. They need to look for compensation there. They've just lost so much for so little because of that crazy play by BLACKLIST International. Using the end threatening the end down below with the base turret taken down with 4 members, and leaving Wise to do, to just go for the base. I mean, go for the Lord, Evolved Lord. And now it's about the slow game again. It's about building tempo, building setup once again, right? It all comes down to how creative they are once we get into this late game. And there's going to be a mistake later on by, well, we'll just wait for that to happen. Again, because the recording kind of fucked up, I have seen what happens. And I know, yeah, I think we're getting very close to that moment right here. What's up, Cloudy? She's just looking at me, guys. Alright, wait. There's the moment right here. Super Friends. Right here. Right. So this is the moment that I want to talk about, right? These are the little mistakes that can be made and have been made by ONIC PH. This is what happens, I don't know, I guess it comes down to experience, right? This is where rookies actually, this is where veterans have a little bit of an edge compared to rookies in the later stages of the game, when you need to be very disciplined, when you have that experience of knowing that, okay, if I do this, it will have a lot of crazy consequences, right? That's what happened right there. I think experience is a big thing, especially when you're playing professionally, right? The nerves get to you. Staying disciplined is very, very hard when you are in these types of situations, and that kind of costed them the game, right? Right now, they have an Estes, they have a Faramis, they're doing the exact same thing, and it's brilliant, right? They don't need to force... Why do they need to go just for the Evolved Lord once Super Prince is down? Why not do what worked before in a 5v5 setting, here in a 4v5 setting? Because not only can we threaten the end 4v4, we can win the team fights 4v4 without Super Prince to help with the Cult Altar, but we can also do this while Wise is taking the Lord solo, right? It's all a massive win. And even if they lose one member, which they do in the end here, Edward gets taken down, it's completely fine. What's the matter? There's nothing's the matter. Everything's all good. Why? Because we got the Evolved Lord. Now this is the mistake. They stayed way too long, right? They don't have Edward, which means they are gonna lack one extra frontliner. Wise can't frontline alone for all these crazy members, especially for Oheb, who's just jumping all around with a 1-1. You need 2. And Oheb just definitely jumped in a bit too much there. He got punished. And he died. Very good by Venus though, and a very good backup by Haji. They both are able to stay alive. Well, Haji died, but he respawned with the passive. Haji was able to keep Venus alive, and then they are actually going to be able to defend this. But those are little mistakes again in terms of discipline. Even for veterans, right? You can see that Oheb made that mistake going in a bit too much again, giving Onyx PH a chance in coming back. And this is such a good play by Rapidude right there. Oh my god, it's such a good play, but unfortunately, not a lot of follow-up, like not instant follow-up. I think Venus would have died there. But yeah, I just got turned again by Edward and Haji.
That goes firsters. They heard a lot. Oh my god, and now it's BLACKLIST's turn. They're on the chase. Setsui's in trouble. The Minoan Master is gonna go down.
He's not going home.
Edward with the kill. There, he attacks the minions, but will it be enough?
Boom.
BLACKLIST just
And then they turn it around, and boom bang, bada bing, we have a game winner right here. But it comes down to, I guess, that decision making, because in the end, it's also Onyx PH making the same mistake that BLACKLIST did, right? Like BLACKLIST, Oheb made a mistake there. Onyx made these mistakes a lot this time, right? And like Nets getting caught before the turtle. Remember that, guys, in the early game. Super Friends opening up the map alone, and then them overcommitting. BLACKLIST made that overcommitment mistake. That's it, right? So you can see in the late game, especially, those type of mistakes tend to happen more because, again, right, this is where most of the players are going to be sort of fatigued after playing such an intense game for 20 minutes. How long was that game? For 24 minutes? Yeah, playing a game with that level of like crazy thinking, etc., and like all focus is very tiring, guys. So playing a match, especially with the crowd, with the pressure, it's very tiring, and that's why you can actually see those mistakes happen. But yeah, I guess that's it. We are going to be able to end the video now. I was doing the outro, like literally the same outro here, with my initial reaction of that final few minutes, final 6 minutes of the game. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough disk space. I deleted some files, and now we're here again. We're recording it. But this is the closing. Thank you guys so much for watching Game 1. I apologize for that little cut in the middle, and I apologize that you won't be able to see the glorious first reaction, because I was like, damn, that was actually really smart. I was mind blown by it, but you know, it is what it is sometimes. And yeah, I guess I'll thank you guys for watching. You guys can catch game number 2. That should be uploaded at the same time here. Go ahead and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a like if you are new. Click on that subscribe button if you want to see more of this match analysis reaction video. You can also see a lot, right? I have Sarcast, I have live streams. Just check it out, man, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.